Hi, I'm Lisa Garr, and we are at the Cardiac Care Update Conference in San Diego. Did you know that more than 80% of cardiac arrests occur at home or in similar settings? And if somebody right next to you was in an emergency situation, do you know CPR? 92% of the time, you know the victim. Bob Stickel is joining me. He's the president of LifeSavers, which he founded in 1992. Bob has more than 28 years of experience as an emergency medical technician and 28 years of experience as an American Heart Association CPR instructor and trainer. Welcome, Bob. Thank you for joining me.
You're welcome.
So tell me, how did you get started with this?
Well, back in '92, I volunteered on the first aid squad in my town. And I saw that, in a cardiac arrest, which most of them occur in the home, like we already said, there was nobody to start CPR. So you have about 4 minutes to begin CPR before the brain cells begin to die. The average response time in the United States for EMS in a cardiac arrest is 10 to 12 minutes. So the key is more people we can train, more lives we can save. So I started a company. It was started in 1992, and basically we started as a part-time company. About 6 months into it, we saw there was really need to go full-time, and ever since then we've been a full-time company. We now have 7 full-time employees. Last year we trained over 45,000 people.
In 1 year?
In 1 year.
Wow. Now, do you have a personal experience with this?
My personal experience, we're just on emergency squad. You get there and a family member be laying there, not breathing, and the family was just standing there. Often relieved when EMS showed up, but we knew we lost that first 4 to 6 minutes. That was so important. So we would get people back, but there would be brain damage. So the key is to get the CPR started. In the late 90s, automated external defibrillators, states were starting to pass law. New Jersey was the 16th state to allow lay people to use AEDs. And that's a machine that's used to shock the heart when someone's in ventricular fibrillation. In New Jersey, back 2 years ago, a law was passed called Janet's Law that requires them now all high school sporting events. And since 2 years ago, 7 youth have been saved with these AEDs. And that was passed by the Zielinski family, whose little 12-year-old, 8 years ago, she'd be about 20 now, died at cheerleading practice. And there was no AED, and it took 45 minutes to get an ambulance.
Wow, and these are all stories that have, personal stories that have impacted people's lives significantly, and they've created laws out of them. Now, I understand that there's a law that's being passed in 2016 that high school students need to have CPR certifications.
Yeah, we're seeing more and more states pass those laws. New Jersey's actually went in effect with the incoming 9th grade, that by the time they graduate, they need to be trained in CPR. They don't need to be certified, but we've worked with a lot of school systems, and states across the country are passing this law now. There's about 14 states that have it. Our biggest success story has been a school system in northern New Jersey in Bergen County. They saved a 15-year-old with a defibrillator 2 years ago. Collapsed on a track, and that school system is requiring every student to be certified and every staff member. So they trained 2,200 people last year.
You said that you're involved with your child's baseball team.
Mm-hmm.
Would you convince every one of those parents to be CPR certified?
Yes, and it's interesting, when I first started that there was a lot of parents like, why do I need this? And we did a presentation with the Zielinski, a little newsreel when the law was going to be passed. And everybody watches that and sees how a 12-year-old girl died because there was no AED at the field, and they all turn around and say, why weren't we trained in this 5 years ago? Why aren't AEDs? They just tried to pass a law in New Jersey that got vetoed that would require AEDs at all ball fields. And it didn't get passed because municipalities say the cost. The cost of an AED today is under $1,000.
Wow, and it could save several lives.
Sure. And
how long does the certification training take?
If you just took adult CPR, it's about an hour and a half. If we add child CPR, which is age 1 to 8, it's about 2 hours, and you add infant, it's about 3 hours. So somewhere between 1.5 to 3 hours to learn how to save someone's life.
When you really weigh the odds and the averages, and you look at how long you would have to train and how many lives that you could save, it makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Bob. Thank you for being with me today.
Thank you, Lisa.
And thank you for joining me on the Life Empowerment Network.